Welcome everybody to TacosandGeeks.com. Justin here, back with another episode of Annie Gaming. This is episode 10. Thank you all for who have been checking this out and joining this retro journey with me of playing anime games and reliving some of these moments, good and bad, of anime gaming. And today we're going to be talking about, as you can see from the screen, we're going to be talking about Initial D Special Stage, which was released in 2003 for the PlayStation 2. And for my Initial D fans out there, quick spoiler alert, that is going to be the next Essential Anime episode. So stay tuned for that later this month. But this was released in 2003 for the PlayStation 2, and it was a good time for the Initial D fans, for the manga and the anime series, and those who love racing games. And this was developed by Sega. And Initial D Special Stage, what I like about it, it was built on the bones of Initial D, the arcade stage series, which, if you're looking at the gameplay here, at the graphics, the visuals, the mechanics look familiar to. That's because it really just did a good job of adapting that core arcade experience for the home consoles. And it did stay really truthful to it too by adding more exclusive features as well. The game brought that high speed mountain pass racing to of Initial D to life, and it really did a good job of capturing the spirit and narrative of the source material, which we'll talk about in a few moments of when it comes to the storytelling of the story mode as well. And I really did like what they did with this. But without further ado, folks, let's talk about the story mode, which is really one of the key replay values of this game. So the gameplay story mode, it offers a really good adaptation and lets you relive key points of the manga and the anime series, allowing players to relive major races and events as Takumi. The mode unfolds in a narrative format with cutscenes and dialogue segments featuring the actual voice actors from the anime, which I really appreciate because, as I've been saying since episode one, if we're able to get the voice actors, if we're able to get the music from the anime, it gives you that real authentic feel of that anime experience. So as you progress through the races against different teams such as the Red Suns, Emperor, just to name a few, you get a little bit more insight on Takumi's journey and growth as a racer. In addition, another story mode provides side stories and rival perspectives, giving the players a chance to really race as and see perspectives of people who raced against Takumi and other iconic drivers from the series. This really did add replay value to it because you get to see those different perspectives, how those characters feel, their motivations. So for a racing game to have a story mode like this, to give you some really in-depth characterization. And for me, if you all know me, I love story. I'm a fan of story. I'm always story first, even when it comes to gaming. I can appreciate that. So, speaking of gameplay, let's talk about that. All right, so let's talk about the gameplay since we're on the topic of it. So, the core gameplay of Initial D Special Stage remains true to the arcade roots of the arcade series, which is focusing on downhill and uphill racing on Japan mountain roads, where precision of drifting and control over speed is essential. The gameplay is heavily revolving around mastering drifting, the technique of cornering while maintaining a controlled slide, essential for like navigating those sharp turns and twists that really makes Initial D really special, no pun intended. The gameplay controls, I will have to say, are pretty smooth for the time, as of course, as we have progressed with technology. Racing games now have a lot more precision, a lot more in depth when it comes to the control scheme. For the PS2 era, though, the controls were very, very good, especially if you were able to drive with an actual wheel. It did make it feel different since it was really core based mechanics on arcade races, and it really separated itself from a time from such as a Need for Speed or a Burnout. While the controls were intuitive at the time and becoming proficient requires practice to really grasp the physics where you really had to be on your drifting game, and it handled very differently, but it was challenging but yet satisfying. And you had things such as the iconic AE86, which is the Tokyo Sprinter, each possessing unique handling characteristics. So each car that you chose had its own, of course, it's a racing game, had its own mechanics. Now let's talk about those courses and tracks there. So the game includes many of the iconic mountain passes featured in Initial D, such as the Kina, which is based off the Mount Haruna. You have the Aki and more. Each course has its own personality, with Akina known for its sharp hairpins and Aki for its high speed challenges. And this is what really made the demanding of the twists and turns. And this is where practice makes perfect. But what makes Initial D Special Stage stand out is how the tracks capture the look and feel of those Japanese mountain passes at the time. Keep in mind, if we have a reboot of this, we will definitely see much more updated graphics, much more beautiful landscapes. But for the time of this, of the arcade, Sega did a good job of capturing those graphics, capturing the Japanese mountain, especially when it came to the nighttime where you really had to be on your P's and Q's in that. And of course, there is tons of cars to select. Like said before, you had the 86, you had the Mazda RX-7, and you had a whole bunch of licensed cars that you can use. And you had no customization, unfortunately, or tuning options, which is a bummer. So, but maybe if we get something more down the line, we might see something maybe in the future if we're able to get another Initial D game. Now, let's talk about the music, folks, because who's the music good in this?
この雨だ。立て直すのは不可能だ。なんだ？俺が出るまでもなかったな。
Music, man. Who love the soundtrack of this game? This man is the best way to describe the soundtrack of this game is just adrenaline pumping. You have this Euro beat type of high energy that is really synonymous with the series. You have artists from like Move, Nico, Ace Warrior, just to name a few that really their soundtracks, their songs really add a rhythmatic quality to the game that really makes it feel even more intense, especially the music with the just the actual lyrics to it really just brings it home. Not to mention that when it comes to sounds as well, you're hearing Takumi's calm voice or you're hearing Keisuke's aggressive banter during the races, which really add more intensity to these type of races. The fact that, like I said, we have the original Japanese voice actors providing voices to it just really sweetens the deal of this. And let us end this by just saying, in retrospect, Initial D Special Stage really holds a special place for those who are Initial D fans. It's a game that offers a mix of arcade racing, has character-driven storytelling mode, and it has respect for the source material. And that's something we always look for when it comes to any gaming: is how true are you to the anime? How true are you to the manga? If it's based off a manga, how true are you to the source material? It is a fun Initial D game. I still play it to this day. Obviously, as you can see, my gameplay footage, I'm not really that great of a driver, but still, I always have fun with this. Anyway, this is Justin from MetaculosGeeks.com saying once again, my friends, thank you for all your support here at ONG. If we have earned your subscription, that would be nice. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to keep up to date with all here at TacosandGeeks.com, and a whole bunch of stuff still coming, folks. More essential manga, more women of anime, more essential anime, UWL Saturday Night Slam, UWL Uprising. We're getting prepared for our big, big, big show of the year, not just Super Slam 2. It's also UWL Convergence. You got to watch the show to see what that is about. We also have our weekly Undisputed playthrough with Friday night fights, creating our creative boxes and having them go at it. So thank you for all your support here. More anime coverage is on the way. I know I've been lacking with that lately, but it's just been so busy doing all this other gaming content I'm getting flooded with. So stay tuned, and the hour will be back eventually. So later days, thank you for your support. Peace, love, and happiness. Peace.